Ethically aligned design. Ethically aligned design is the responsibility that the technoscientific community has in ensuring that current and future autonomous and intelligent systems have a positive impact on human well-being and minimize negative impact. It is important because these systems are an unavoidable element of the present and future. They have huge potential for both positive and negative impact depending on the strategies used in their design and implementation. It is in everybody's best interest that they are designed with ethics as a top priority. The ethical design of these technologies should be guided by the following general principles. Ensure they do not infringe on internationally recognized human rights. Prioritize metrics of well-being in their design and use. Ensure that their designers and operators are responsible and accountable. If they do cause harm, it must be possible to discover the root cause. Ensure they operate in a transparent manner and minimize the risks of their misuse. Let's look at some systems of ethics. Virtue ethics focuses on the development of a virtuous character. It emphasizes habitual iterative action and focuses on achieving excellence in a chosen domain or in accord with a guiding purpose. This can provide a framework for prudent decision-making that is in keeping with the autonomous system's purpose, but allows for a creativity in how to achieve the purpose in a way that still allows for a degree of predictability. A deontological system of ethics has clear advantages from a programmatic perspective. We can implement rules known as axioms into a program, and from those standard rules the program can derive ethical actions, much like a chess engine that derives optimal moves from initial knowledge of the rule set. Unfortunately, chess is a closed world where this works. It is not necessarily viable in the real world where the rules are constantly changing. Ubuntu is about togetherness as well as a fight for the greater good. It is important that we exercise fairness and equality for all people regardless of race, gender, or social status. Community is important to prioritize in an age where technology has both the capacity to unite and to isolate people. Shinto's focus on the unique spirit of all objects plays a key role in the Japanese embrace of technology. The belief system uniquely views the existence and advancement of technology as equally natural to the world as rivers, forests, and thunderstorms. The Japanese treatment of technology is definitely one we want to adopt should robots ever become conscious and treat us according to our historical treatment of them. Confucian ethics focuses on humane treatment of others and respect of one's ancestors. There are certainly many valuable lessons to be learnt from history and many mistakes that we should do our best not to repeat. It is, however, hard to give autonomous and intelligent systems the same treatment as other humans. We would not like to be put to work doing a single repetitive task for our entire lifetime, but this will inevitably be the application of many of these systems. Buddhism states that one should always act to realize nirvana. Nirvana means escaping the cycle of death and rebirth known as samsara, which is achieved by extinguishing the fires of greed, aversion, and ignorance. These fires are definitely good vices to avoid in autonomous and intelligent systems. A good way to understand the different stances is, virtue ethics questions the goal or purpose of these systems, and deontological ethics questions the duties. Ubuntu would ask, how do they affect the community in which they are situated? In primitive intelligent systems, a standard principle like do no action that can bring harm to human beings was a good design principle, as these systems were often loosely supervised by humans and it would be reasonable for them to defer action if presented with a challenging situation. Now imagine autonomous police officers dealing with a hostage situation. Inaction may cause the most harmful outcome in this case, so there must be some ethical framework that allows the system to resolve these issues. To implement a system in a community, the ethical norms of that community must be clearly laid out, but even within a particular community, different types of applications will demand different sets of norms. The first step is to identify the norms of the specific community in which the systems are to be deployed, particularly the norms relevant to the tasks that they are deployed to perform. But how do we derive these ethical values? We cannot derive all moral values of goodness from is facts of nature because of the naturalistic fallacy. The statement she is old and lonely is a fact. The derived values you ought to help her and you ought to euthanize her can both be equally derived from the initial is statement. If ethical values are facts of nature, then we should not be able to get two different values from the same fact. Although moral values and questions of right and wrong are real and can be known, they cannot be identified with any natural properties. They are part of the world as we experience it, but they are based on a moral intuition that is hard to describe literally. It's argued by G.E. Moore that good cannot be broken down into its properties. It is a quality that things can possess, but not one that can be defined. He illustrates this through the colour yellow. You can point to objects that are yellow and say that they are yellow, which allows you to gain an intuition and ability to identify other yellow objects, but that does not fully explain what yellow is. The same logic applies for goodness. However, in an age where technology and collaboration allow us to find definitions for the previously considered undefinable, our challenge is to distill this essence of goodness and human flourishing into something that can be programmatically implemented and executed by autonomous and intelligent systems.